Hello everyone, I'm Lennox Jackson, President and CEO of Urban Equities Incorporated and Managing Member of Urban Equities Construction LLC. I want to welcome you to some of our work that we've completed here in downtown Chicago. We're excited to share with you the work that we completed by way of building out this office for an architectural firm. We're very proud of the work, and we want you to know that the work took place in what is now the old or former administrative building for the Chicago Public School Board. And so the building is being modernized and upgraded, and our project here was one of the first projects to launch as part of this comprehensive capital improvement project by the developer. So in this video, you get a chance to not only hear me speak, but you get a chance to hear from the designer of the space, as well as from the husband and wife team who are the owners of Urban Works Limited. Here we go.
I think one of the biggest things that I'm mostly proud of is, I think other than the fact that I got to play a part in the design, being able to, make it, see it come alive. Starting off with sketches, the materiality of the way we were thinking about how to compose the space, given that we had pretty much a blank canvas. I think that in and of itself was something pretty, satisfactory and inspiring at the same time. The fact that we, were able to play a part in the way we were going to work in our everyday routine. So, going through that process, I think, was something really, really great. And at the end of the day, we were able to complete our vision. So I think that's being able to complete the vision was what was the most inspiring and successful, I would say. Given the fact that the office was pretty much again a blank canvas and was a very linear space, we thought of celebrating the idea of coming together through this linear perspective. And the main keyword concept was flow. The way we flow when we work, or how we communicate, and how we're all together as a team. So given that main concept idea, we went ahead and really took the fruits of the space, and really wanted to center ourselves, meaning the studio being the central focal point and being anchored by these two collaborative spaces. One being the idea space, and the opposite end being the conference room. So that was the main idea of creating this bar-like workflow. And from there, we were thinking of really celebrating again those anchor spaces, and that's when we envisioned having these volumetric spaces by adding splashes of the blue color, which is orange. And we think that it really tied that concept together. And further binding that, we wanted to soften it up with material, and we chose wood alongside with choosing cork as our flooring. I felt like that really tied that idea of the linear effect that is created by this workspace. So the wood-slide canopy really binds everything together, which everything happens in the studio, and that everything stems out from this linear approach. Correct, especially creating a space and being a part of a space that, for like you said, my coworkers, it's people that I will be seeing pretty much every day in the workplace. It's something different where you work on something for a client, and you really don't see them as much. So I feel like being able to pay attention to my coworkers' needs and everyone around who would be using the space was important. To be able to cater to everyone's opinions and the way everyone works, since everyone works at a different pace, works at they have their own ways of working. So that was something that was priority for us in order for it to be a successful collaborative project as well. Good. I think, again, in architecture in general, or in any interior space, color is very important. So I will say there was some sort of comment or concern in general in regards to the color, but I feel like we're very adamant about staying true to the concept and if you follow it, it'll be successful, we hope. And I feel like we did. Once we actually implemented the color within the spaces, I feel like there was a different change in perspective of how you would feel within that space. So it was very welcomed. It was very celebrated as well. There were some pending ideas to when we were working together again with those like anchor spaces, let it be the idea space and the conference room for the idea space specifically. We were looking into partitioning it a little bit more with transparency, meaning glass or any sort of partition that would allow you to be separate but also be visually connected at the same time. I think that would be one of the things that I would probably add on to the project, but truthfully, I feel like since that was, we did not go through that, we ended up having a bigger open space. And I feel like it actually ended up being even better than what we envisioned. I feel like it's a space where everybody can all be together and really be there at the same time, again, to connect, communicate, and share ideas and thoughts.
Yeah, Urban Equities was instrumental in helping us determine which space we decided upon. We were looking at another one on the Chicago River, and although we were really entranced with the views, Urban Equities looked at the structural integrity of the building, and there were a few structural cracks. And in the end, we determined that was a higher risk for us. So we decided to come into this space because it was a blank canvas, it was open, and it also had the connectivity of being central to downtown, which is just as important as being on the river. So we can always walk over to the river and enjoy the river, but being able to have Urban Equities look at the feasibility of the space while we were walking through it was extremely important.
Very pleased. I mean, we when we first saw the space, we could see the vision of what it really wanted to be. And we think that we've accomplished that in our final design. The space is full of light. It's a great building. It's a great location. When people walk in, they're immediately impressed by the brightness, the color, the activity level. I think that we made a great decision on this location based on just looking at it kind of with an open canvas with your assistance. Sure.
Yeah, and it also helps us because now we have clients coming in and they can see what the possibility is of an end product for them. Not only in the design and the construction, but also in using sustainable materials, the cork floor, the use of wood, and all the natural tones. So it is now in all intent and purposes, a showcase for us, or testing ground too for what we can do to expand our reach into the office market. Yeah, there were a lot of challenges, as with all construction projects. It is an older building, a landmark building, so the freight elevator was down often, and that was a challenge. And Urban Equities and Lennox and his team, nothing stopped the schedule. It kept going. We had to be in May. Was it?
It's May.
Mid-May or so. And so it was a very compressed schedule of 3 to 4 months from the design, the permit, getting into the space, the build out, even with all the challenges during the construction process. And those were the biggest ones. I mean, the elevator, there were also delays in some of the materials. So all those are things that happen typically on every project. And we were able to get in on time because it would be detrimental to us if we couldn't get our office up and running.
I think two specific examples were Urban Equities having contractors literally carry ductwork up 20 flights of stairs.
Yes.
Because of a freight elevator not functioning. That is going above and beyond, something that we had never seen before. And then working above an existing occupied space, which had noise complaints when noise was taking place. So Urban Equities team had to do the noisy work off hours, after hours, work and coordinate with the tenant downstairs, which is not too atypical of a build out at an office building in Chicago, but this tenant was more vocal about it, and Urban Equities did a great job of appeasing that downstairs client tenant.
There's also the coordination, because some of the work had to be done by the building itself. For example, some of the relocation of some of the fire alarm poles, etc. And so that coordination had to be seamless. There were some setbacks where it wasn't placed in the right place by the building, and there had to be some spontaneous reaction to how else then we can address that. And it was great to be able to have a team that was responsive and available, and willing to work with everyone and be fluid enough to make sure that we were here on time. Yes, yes, we would work with Urban Equities again, and we're going to. We are trying to find new projects where we could team up. It really is a long-term relationship with Urban Equities and the entire team, because we've worked together in the past, and this was a project that was very important to us, our own physical space. So we hope to work on many others in the future.